simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that's dry begging. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Gosh, yes. Let me start out dry begging and make sure that we say hi. Happy Wednesday. Happy Tuesday. Good Lord. What a way to start. Don't even know what day of the week it is. It's Tuesday, right? Tomorrow's Wednesday. How is everybody? Oh, the pink shorts are awesome. Just, so I was waiting for a moment when Tim decided to come out and give us a fashion show. If you don't know who I am, everybody, my name is Life and Vibe, otherwise known as Ray. I am a registered nurse here in the United States, and I get out here and I do commentary here on the internet, on YouTube. And most of the time, if I can find a health-related topic, I'm going to do that. And so I have actually put out a poll. If you've not had an opportunity to join in, make sure to do that. The question in the poll was whether or not you are somebody who likes to wash their clothes ahead of time. Sorry, I just got through eating dinner, so I've been rushing around. So the poll was, do you wash new clothes before you wear them? And to be honest, because there are some clothes that are like, jackets and stuff that say do not wash. I've had that. So it depends, really, doesn't it? Do you wash new clothes before you wear them? 53% are saying yes, it's gross not to wash them. 43% are saying it's a mix, but wash most things. Yeah, I've had things where like literally the coat says do not wash. So it's a spot clean only. So you do have to read the labels. But this is an interesting poll. And then 3% say, no, I prefer to wear before washed. So I prefer the honesty there. Maybe that's Tim. We know Tim likes to iron his chemicals in. But Consumer Reports also released something recently. So we're going to let Tim go on for the first couple of minutes. But if you've not had a chance to take part in the poll, please do so. Let me put my banner up. I think I'm at 3,832 subs. Anyway, it's a slow growth to nowhere for this channel, but I certainly do appreciate everybody who does take the time to like, comment, and subscribe on this channel. It certainly does help us be seen. Yeah, plenty to work with. Tim's falling apart. He mentioned his laundry once a month on the sheets. Now that is bad. I'm gonna let you know you need to wash your sheets much more frequently than that. Hey everyone, come on in. Oh, St. Louis Loser Squat. That's one heck. That's such a funny name. You guys get some funny names. So anyway, I appreciate that. So yes, I've got my wonderful. I forgot to put my better camera on. Good God. I am the worst streamer. I got to get my proper streaming area set up. That's an investment, though. But Tim's going to come out with some interesting statistics. Hey, come on in. Sarasota Fats. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. The thumbnail was great there because he lifts up his shirt. All right, let's just get straight into the reacts because nobody's here to hear me talk for 10 minutes.
How's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim, famous YouTuber. And that's actually true. I'm sorry, but it is.
I don't know, famous or infamous. And I think starting your live stream on a thing where you get, let's see how many views he's had so far. 2,100, almost 2,200 views, 58 downvotes, 171 upvotes. That's actually a lot of ups for Tim. I guess people are not going in even and clicking on the downvotes because just a couple of weeks ago, sorry, I'm fiddling. A couple of weeks ago, Tim was getting absolutely ratioed in the likes to dislikes. So he was getting like, especially at the time with the Johnny Vegas golf clubs, Tim was getting double the number of dislikes to likes. But that's just engagement. It just helps him out. So it's not anything that's actually doing him any harm. And so it's always interesting to see. But Tim's going to get into his metrics. He's at 29.9 million total views. He has on this video, it actually says 732 total views, which is interesting considering it says here from YouTube, sorry, that it's like 2,200 almost. So I just, sorry, I'm getting between hot and cold all the time. 48 comments, 91 likes. See, this is, I don't understand where this is. This doesn't even match what YouTube has. So that's interesting. I don't know if there's, no, that's not even subtracting dislikes to likes. Interesting. Overall, this seems a little more accurate. Somebody just gave me another like. 29.9 million total views. So here's just shy of about 100,000. I have over 1 million. So I think I got 1.3 or something. So something like that. So it's not too terrible. I am in the million club for total views. So thank you guys for that. His subscriber count is high. And but the views just don't match. So he, statistically is not getting anywhere near the views to his subscribers. And I don't know how that really affects his overall payment that he gets, like from YouTube, depending how much he's making on his click his what they call a CPM. So whatever his cost per 1,000 to the actual advertisers, that can vary just depending on the channel. So it's everybody's numbers are different, which is why it's so difficult to ever estimate what somebody's making in ad revenue. Tim says he's making a lot of money now. And then obviously the number of videos. He's got close to 5,000 videos. That's incredible. He has quite put out the body of slop work out there. All right, Kim, keep going.
And I'm going to tell you why. And it's not just because of me. It's got a lot to do with you. What am I looking for? Well, I got so many watches.
Hey.
I'm just thinking I want to wear a different one. I got my microphone here. I got some foo-foo juice. I want to have a shower. Got all cleaned up and prettied up for you guys. Oh, I'm just going to do one Sprite.
These hate views.
Oh, my gosh. So let's go back here and look at the mess. I'm going to do some laundry sometime today. I got my sheets. I'm not going to wash this. I'm just going to wash my cover sheet. So anyway, where's he
going to wash his cover sheet? Somebody said in the video, Stacy said earlier that in the video to Fred and Rafaela's house from yesterday, maybe we'll take a quick peek see at that he said that he had not but washed his sheets once a month, as I said earlier. That's just gross. It's gross. All of it's gross. I have to say, I have dogs, and trying to keep a home clean and have 2 big dogs, it's work. It's a lot of work. I feel like my second job is cleaning house, cleaning the dogs. They had baths this past weekend. I'm hoping everybody had a great 4th of July. I have not caught up with anybody since then. It's been so busy. And so I just hope that everybody was safe. Everyone had a lot of fun. And we were here at the house. Junebug was on a medication that I don't know. She was hiding in the shower. So anyway, let's get to Tim.
For a nice black face watch, or do I want a gold face watch? I guess I'll go with this one. I haven't had any coffee. It's in there waiting. It's the percolated coffee. Oh, I got to set the time. I wonder what time it is. Let's go in there and look. I'm 200 pounds, a little over. So I don't go up. I don't go down. I do, but like within a pound or two. So I guess it's true what Fred said. I'm a 200-pound man. That's my ideal weight. I did find out that this bread that I bought, the hero bread, will kill you. Don't buy it. It'll kill you.
Okay. I did not know that Fred had a medical degree and was able to tell Tim that he's a 200-pound man and that's his ideal weight. Sorry. I do actually. Sorry. Let me put my... Oh, no! Let me put this out real quick. You know how litigious Tim gets with me. 37 days till trial, guys. 37. We got under 40 days. Oh my goodness. It's just, like I said, for me mentally, I need to do the countdown in order to get to the end date because it just seems to have taken forever. And I have all these people leaving wild comments all the time about how I shouldn't be taking him to court. But anyway, all right, there's my fair use. Okay, keep going, Tim.
Good sourdough. That's what I'm going to have to buy now.
Oh, yeah, about Tim and his height. Okay. All right, Tim, keep talking. I'm going to calculate your... actually, let's do this. You're going to play, and I'm going to find
my speaker off there.
Quick.
Oh, what a mess over here. All right, it's 7 o'clock straight up. A.M. Duh. Just watch here. There we go. I'm going to go 7 o'clock straight up. Can't wait to get into that coffee.
All right. I bet you can't.
Do you guys see
Tim. That's another one of your really aggressive habits. And it is, I'm going to share this tab instead. And actually being somebody who is that addicted to caffeine, it is an addiction, Tim. Okay. So the CDC actually has, and make sure, guys, just to let people know that we are here and live this Tuesday evening, hit those likes. That's my dry bet.
I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have best dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Yeah, I asked for 2 things. Hit the likes. Obviously, actually 3 things. Like the channel, subscribe if you want to chat, and make sure to what else do I want? Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the hypes. Send rubies. The rubies. I need to figure out the mobile. There's a way, I think, to add the chat that adds the mobile chat. And then you can see like the little ruby images coming up if you're on the mobile device, because it has all the fun pictures. So if you are on the mobile devices, I do want to make sure I thank anybody who's sending rubies, because I'm down a sub. Oh, no, I'm back up. YouTube is always up and down my subs. Okay. So this is an adult BMI calculator. And for those of us who do know, this is just, it is a potential health indicator. A lot of people want to put a lot of stock into it. Obviously, we need to always think of a bigger picture. What medications is somebody taking? What other factors are happening in a patient's life? I am a registered nurse. We know that. So anyway, Tim likes to say he's 5'10", but the process server who served his papers back in March, February time said Tim looked closer to 5'7". So we're going to go by the, we're so awful here. We're going to go by, that's what you get for striking my channel. We're going to go by the height that was given to us by the actual process server. And then he said he was 202 pounds. So let's calculate his BMI. We can do the whole range, but we can go for it. All right. Oh, that's not good. Oh, based on that alone, I mean, I don't ever want, just because he has excessive coronary artery calcium score and he is on a statin medication. 31.6 BMI is quite high. And you don't want 6'1", you feel chunky. Well, everyone can go and play later on. I'll make sure to leave the link. Now, don't leave me to go and do this. Do it on another screen, because I'll be very upset. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, based on the information, it's not my body mass index. How dare you? How dare they say it's my body mass index? It's not mine. But anyway, I shouldn't laugh, because obviously I am a registered nurse, and I have patients who obviously have issues around health, around weight. Not now, because I'm a pediatric nurse, so my patients patients tend to go the opposite direction for their age. So that's not the issue. So, but obviously, no, I respect it. But it is an indicator that we do use. And Tim has been always trying to tout that he's so healthy, but he never really talks about anything like his BMI or any of the different things that could be potentially going on. So I'm not really trying to laugh at Tim. But for Fred to kind of say to him, well, you're a 200-pound man, and that be kind of the gospel, I think is not a fair and accurate thing to share with his audience. I mean, we know Tim isn't highly educated with anything medical, and so that's why I come out to call out his misinformation. Okay, so here we have class 1 obesity. So he's in the starting, but he definitely, wants to come down here. Now, in Tim mind, he is obviously much taller. So let me say, so if we were to go back in and reset, I should just hit reset, shouldn't I? If we went to Tim's 5'10", which I don't think he's 5'10", I think the 5'7" from the process servers is more accurate. What would this say? He's probably just overweight then. Yeah, he would be just overweight if he were really the height that he claims to be. Well, the bone mass, lean muscle. Well, that's why they say there's different factors that come involved. But generally, it just, for most people, they're not, athletes. So we're not sort of worried about, Sarasota Tim rolling in as a bodybuilder. So, but for most, this is just 170 pounds. He looks good. It's just a potential, they said. So there's always, like they said, things that you have to take into consideration. It's just a potential health indicator. And obviously, lots of other things are taken into consideration. For somebody who's young, who's lifting weights and so forth, obviously, if they have a much higher BMI to their height, it probably is going to be based on the fact that they are building up muscle mass rather than having just, a regular sort of sedentary, most average individual. So it's just a tool, and it is used only as one. And we always say there's health behaviors. Obviously, there's the exam findings, lab findings. We do know that Tim is on a atorvastatin, otherwise known as Lipitor, at 20. Oh no, he's on rosuvastatin. Shoot, that's right. He's on Crestor at 20 milligrams, and has been advised that his cholesterol is high. So his is potentially sitting into these types of reasons. Remember, having excess weight can increase your risk for chronic conditions, including high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and high cholesterol. Assess your risk within this 1-minute pre-diabetes risk test. And obviously, like I said, it's just another tool that we use in healthcare. Here's to making Tim cry. Yeah, always. And just educating, because just to say it's 200, we know that Tim has a lot of more health risks going on. And so the things that only he has revealed to us in the community and on his channel around his visits to his primary care, to the cardiologist, the fact that he has now to take statin medications, that he is also seemingly taking potentially with that dry cough. There has been discussion that is Tim also taking a medication like lisinopril for the dry cough. I haven't heard the dry cough lately. Usually it gets worse, so who knows? Could it just be allergies? We are just making guesses here. Like I say, I don't treat or diagnose anybody. This is for education and informational purposes only, though I am a registered nurse here in the United States, blah, blah, blah.
Anybody go to help ants? Let me show them to you. I went to return them yesterday, and the girl at Walmart said, "Ooh, these are nice." And I said, "Yeah, you like them?" She says, "Yeah." "Well, they don't fit." I said, "Well, I didn't even open them up." I said, "I don't know." I'm looking at the color. I'm thinking, I don't know.
Yeah, charters here, unfortunately, not to put people off a barbecue, but that can lead to increased risk for carcinogens from the meat, from what I understand. So they do actually advise people not to eat those like charcoaly bits of meat and so forth. So that's what I've just understood. I don't eat meat. So, and I know a grilled piece of fish, and I understand. I get it. I think everything, just a little bit, but to have it as frequently as Tim, and with he's really just playing with fire, dietarily speaking, in my opinion, and from the research papers that I have read.
I have wore, and I've had compliments, pink polos. There's light pink, there's bright pink, there's different pinks, and it looks pretty good. It really does. So I bought a pair of pink golf shorts. Now, golf clothes are kind of loud anyway, so let me just show them to you. I'm going to keep them. She says, "Oh, I think you a golfer too?" She goes, "Oh, you got it."
There was a time in the 1980s in Britain that all the young men were wearing like pink corduroy pants with the pink sweater with it. Just all these like really like pastel colors and stuff, and like these hair perms and things. It's something else. It was like all the working class guys too. There was a specific name for it. It was like all the boys at my school used to do that were, from those, it would all be dressing like that. It was wild.
Keep these. I said, all right, I'll keep them. Here we go.
Why do we have to get to look at Tim's Fred Flintstone feet? Not one family photo. And I saw you come in. Hey, come on in. And I saw, obviously, hey, come on in, Catherine. I don't want you to think, oh, yeah, visceral fat. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah. Tim is, and who knows, too, what's happened with his liver. Because he does say he's been somebody who drank in the past. So who knows what else? Tim is a Walmart employee. Yeah, the Walmart employee is now Tim's de facto fashion advisor and personal shopper.
They're the Ben Hogan.
Ben Hogan, whoever that is. Can somebody tell me who Ben Hogan is? Because I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. I try to, I buy things that I think are going to last time. So it's not that I'm a snob. I don't buy clothes at Walmart. It's not that I'm a snob. That's not tend to be where I go, because I don't tend to want to buy 6 of that thing. And if I do, I have known to buy 3 of the same t-shirt style at Target. I will admit to that. I do have a habit of finding, like, because some of their t-shirts can be short, but if there's one t-shirt and I find one that I like the style of, I know that potentially could be a short-lived experience at Target. And so Target t-shirts, sitting around $8-10, tend to be the ones that I buy. So I'm just a Target girl. What can I say? And so that tends to be. So every summer I do load up on a few things. If that's kind of like, I guess, my my sort of, shopping like that type of, combined store experience is Target. I'm not wearing Target at the moment. I'm wearing other brands.
Golf shorts. And I can wear a navy, I can wear a white, I can wear a black
shirt.
I've got 6 more of these knit button-down shirts that'll be here tomorrow. 6 of them. All colors, including white.
I think is actually probably a good thing, because if he's a famous YouTuber, he doesn't need to be doxing his family completely all the time. So actually, I'm probably okay that he has no family photos out.
And some green ones, and I think there is a pink one. I'll be wearing my pink shorts. That'll go with some black shorts or something. Anyway, let's have some.
I know Tim's tummy. I know Tim just put his tummy out for everybody to see too. So that was, he keeps telling people not to send him emails or anything to approach him, and yet he's out here flashing his flesh. What do you expect him?
Well, you're raising a barn?
Oh my goodness.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Okay, so let me get over to this consumer report real fast. Just because I wanted to share this. This actually came out in 2026. So this is fairly recent. It's from Consumer Reports. This actually is from a WSLS 10 News from Roanoke, Virginia. So it is actually a local news. We're just going to play this. See, we're going to get the good bits of it. Obviously, all under fair use. I have linked the description. I have put the link in the description box below for this video if you want to watch the news broadcast complete and shows support to this particular news channel.
Here's why and how to do it without ruining your latest purchase. For some people, washing new clothes before wearing them is a necessity.
I've had issues with clothes in the past. That's why I'm really careful about the clothes that I buy and making sure that I wash them beforehand.
And that's exactly what experts recommend. Even if new clothes look clean, Consumer Reports says they should always be washed before you wear them.
There we go. So, but don't forget, we are running a poll. 91 votes. Let's see if we can. Let me dry beg to. This is. Sorry, I gotta dry beg this one, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna do it.
I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that's dry begging. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
It's a full out e-bag. Make sure to participate in the poll about whether or not you wash your clothes. But this came out just June 24th, 2026. And we know Tim never washes his clothes when they're new.
Experts add that this includes everything, especially delicate items like underwear.
It might seem unnecessary to wash all the new clothes you buy, but there are really good reasons to do it. For example, chemicals from the manufacturing and finishing process can still be on the fabric, and for someone with sensitive skin, that can cause irritation.
And babies can be even more vulnerable. Their skin is thinner and more absorbent than adults, making them more sensitive to chemicals that still may be lingering.
Oh, yeah, definitely with infants or children. You do not. And I would say for people who are seniors, their skin also is very delicate and prone to get irritation easily and is much frailer and thinner. And so I think it's important also too. So I would put that caveat in as a healthcare provider and somebody trained to be a nurse educator and going to get back to school once I get through all of this summer and the trial.
In brand new clothing.
You're not just wearing a new outfit, you're wearing everything it picked up along the way.
Many clothes travel thousands of miles before reaching you, from factories, warehouses, shipping containers, and store shelves where they are unpacked, handled, and even tried on by other shoppers. Along the way, your new clothing may collect dust, dirt, bacteria, and even insects before ending up in your closet. So, what's the...
Oh, that's the thing. That's the thing I just do not like the idea of. And some of those little buggies you might not be able to see, even if the clothes are sealed in plastic. Because I used to work in a clothing store many years ago, Top Shop, which is the known female clothing brand from the UK, and I would unpack lots of clothes that would come from the little plastic wrappers. And those of us who now get the opportunity to shop online, they all come in wrappers and so forth. But once I think you've tried them on and ensured that they fit, get them washed, and with children's clothes, I think you probably know their size. And so I think it's just wash ahead. I have some where, like I said, the t-shirts are things that I get from Target, which are staples, and I know my size. I'm just going to wash them. That's it. Those are, things that I just know I'm already going to wear them. I generally try to not get too big of a size up, at least get them out. So they're going to tell you how to wash them safely. He can't, oh no. We've got all sorts of theories. He said he's just throws stuff out too. And that's even worse. Just worse. You worked in retail? Security would check the dock area to make sure it was secured and the motion detectors were working. When you turned on the light, they were, oh, Lord, cockroaches. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Oh, and if you live anywhere here in a coastal area in the United States, at least here in the South area, you get those bugs, the palmetto bugs, or what do they call them? Water bugs. Oh my gosh. There's like huge roach looking freaking things. They're gross as hell. God. All right, let's find out how to wash them.
Safest way to wash new clothes. Consumer Reports has a few key tips.
Wash clothes with similar colors together. Some brightly colored garments can bleed or fade during the first wash. Washing in cold or cool water and the gentle cycle can minimize that and also reduce the risk of shrinking.
And then I also use a special detergent to make sure that I'm not having a reaction.
And before tossing anything in the washer, check the care label. Following those instructions can help your clothes last longer and continue looking their best. Consumer.
I think that's pretty helpful. I wish that Tim would, wash his clothes ahead of time. Roaches, yeah. Love the lady. Oh, that's why I put gross on this. And I had all the little bugs in the thumbnail. Oh my gosh, palmetto bugs. I come back to my back porch. Oh gosh. I have shingles that made from cedar shake or whatever. Oh my gosh, those things just love to get in there. And sometimes I'll get out at nighttime to let the dogs out. You'll see one like walking along the top of your fence. It's just like, get out of here. Huge. Oh, they are roaches. Exactly. Oh, sorry. I used to obviously live in Mexico, so I know a thing too about a cucaracha. Oh my goodness. So let's finish out this report.
Reports also recommends skipping fabric softener, although that is, of course, your option. And apparently you got to clean the little plastic thing.
You do, because after a while it starts to gunk up in there.
Okay.
And that's what they're when they're talking about mold and yucky stuff. Yeah, you need to pop it out and clean it every once in a while.
They're talking about in your washing machine, the filter that you need to take the water out and clean to get the gunk out. Palmetto. Oh, yes. Yes, there's definitely in Virginia Beach, especially here, because we're on the coast. Oh, yeah, they call them water bugs. That's what they call them. But I know they're also known as palmettos. They're huge. Yes. Oh, yeah, they're all up the East Coast from probably Florida to, I'm sure, up to Maryland, maybe even Jersey. Oh my goodness. Well, I thought that was very helpful advice from our friends over at the Consumer Affairs, especially for Tim, who just does not like to wash any of his clothes at all. All right, we're gonna get back to Tim, guys.
111,614 beautiful souls out there. I got some statistics I want to share with you that blew me away. Oh God, let's get the microphone. There's the air conditioner. All right.
Oh my goodness, he obviously had to stop. That air conditioner was blasting.
I had to get that coffee going. Here we go. I had a problem trying to open something on my laptop, MacBook Air, to share with you this morning.
Lapbook? You mean laptop or MacBook Air? Timmy's so techie. All right, Tim, get your lap book out. Oh, he just gives me such great giggles.
Like I said, I haven't had coffee yet.
I know, his eyes are looking rough.
I bought bacon yesterday, too.
Oh,
that low cholesterol Oscar Mayer. Oh, come on. Hey, remember,
one of our somebody I know got stung by a wasp the other day, and they've had issues with them around the property. And I've been saying there's been a lot of wasps around your property, and sadly somebody got bit. Oh my gosh. Oh, I've been bit twice in my life by insects. Once by, I think, a wasp here in the United States. Painful. And another time when a bee got trapped in a sweater of mine in the UK. I put the sweater over my arm, and inevitably the bee bit me then right inside of a taxi. That was painful too.
push in on the cap. It won't. There it goes. Man, I can't wait. This is my first cup with you. Today is what day is it? My electric bill's due today. It come up there around $75, $80. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Is he trying to dry bag an electric bill? Come on, Tim. He does.
Never turned it on. I just poured out pure water.
No, he's about to say, oh, that's not a good pause. Hold on.
In my coffee.
Let me get him to turn around and show his eyes.
The whole time.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if that's too much sun. Let's see. His eye does look shot. What? I mean, he just. Damn.
Took a shower. I wanted this to be done. Now it's going to take, and I need to be hopped up to talk about what I want to talk about this morning. So I'm going to pause this and come back because I just don't have, I'm not woke up to go into it.
Ooh.
See how fast it starts percolating? Look, I can't believe I did that.
Oh, that's not good.
In
Sorry,
about
here
10 seconds, it starts to go into the globe. But yeah, I made the coffee. I washed the whole pot out, and then I didn't turn it on. Kind of like the videoing yesterday or whatever I was saying. I made like, man, I was going into it. I was talking, and then I hit stop, and it started recording. I said, what? Oh my gosh. So let me police the area a little bit.
So he said he had been trying to make some videos, and then he realized he had not hit record. This is just, Tim's channel's definitely fallen off a ledge. And I don't think it's because of the hater channels. I think we're the things that actually probably give you the most of your lifeline still now, because and I don't even know if your subscribers would be as fervent if there weren't people that seem to dislike your content. So I don't know if that doesn't make them a stronger supporter of your content than a lesser supporter of your content. If we weren't around, like, would there be as many people? Probably not, because we wouldn't have been highlighting your thievery of Johnny Vegas's golf clubs, and therefore people wouldn't have been sending you all that buy me a coffee money and stuff that just made your, that just like, wow. And I don't know if that's when Angel Mission decided to peace out, but nobody misses her.
Better here. And say a prayer or two or something so I can get my act together. I'll be back. All right, the coffee is ready.
Yes, this is the video that he put out this morning. And he hasn't, so far as of yet, had anything else out today. This is the only one that so far I have seen. But then again, I do get busy doing other stuff. So I kind of saw this one earlier today. And I was like, he's, getting out more info. At least he's trying. This was about the most amount of effort I've seen Tim do in a video for a while. He's done some editing. He's showed off some shorts. He's going to be doing some actual statistics for his channel, and just continue to brag about how great he's doing, and try to sort of put down in a sort of passive aggressive way any other channel on the platform that is one like mine. That's why I appreciate if you stop and subscribe, and why I've almost been just doing this thing about road to 10K. It really is just, I don't grow a lot, so I'm not even embarrassed by my own channel stall in growth. And so but that's just kind of the game on YouTube. And I do appreciate those of you who do subscribe. But please hit the likes. I don't even know how many we have. I don't even care. All right, keep going, Tim.
And I can't wait. And by the way, for those of you out there with a keen eye, I did take the tag off my shorts. I put them on the first time, and I said,
Tim is, he took the tag off. So Tim's trying to admit he's not returning any of this stuff. It just grosses me out to think that none of this has been washed. And he just thinks he's just looking sharp while he's wearing like bug feces on himself and a bunch of chemicals. It just gross to me. Like I said, it's tough to keep a clean house with so many dogs. But I try my best, man. I'm always like doing dishes and laundry and cleaning something. It just feels like it's like a perpetual second job. And so just the thought of wearing like bug feces clothes just, really grosses me out. And I know it's probably because a lot of the times he orders stuff online. He doesn't know if it's size, but I don't know. I think he just sometimes wears and returns.
I'll make sure they fit before I take the tag off. 34, baby. Oh, gosh. Give me coffee now. Help me out. So I've already poured a little bit in here, that was pure water.
Oh, Tim had made some joke. It was on one of his videos that he had joked around that he was having. He made some joke. It was like some cheesy joke that belonged in the 1960s.
But I stopped immediately, so I don't care.
I don't think it was
the rest of this can be diluted.
I think it was
I'm
just
not
joking.
going to waste that cream. All right, it's definitely soaked down below the basket. Let's go ahead and see what the color's like. Will be coming out of the top there. That's much better. Much, 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 much better. Oh, that's gold, baby. All right, let's try it out.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Let me see. Has he had? Oh, gosh. I don't know.
You know it's good.
You think he's got something on his bottom lip? Has he had a history of something on
That's
his
the best
lip?
cup of coffee I've ever drank in my life. Man, that's good coffee.
No, I think what you're saying is just like a flavor saver. Unless he just doesn't like to shave here. Oh God, I remember having guys that I dated. It was just like we used to call them the flavors. Oh God, just do not. I feel very early 2000s.
McDonald's, baby. I got plenty of it. I got some crank in there too. I almost made crank this morning, but I'm about half dead, so I said I gotta chop those beans up.
Oh Lord, not the shirt dry bag. Oh dear, I do not need to see that.
Yeah, just give me a minute to enjoy this.
Oh no, I do not want to see. Oh gosh, what is he looking at? Keep an eye in the background to make sure Steve the raccoon doesn't come by.
Are you enjoying with me at 7:30?
Looks like they have a new neighbor because before there wasn't an RV there, and that's how we were able to see Steve the raccoon so easy. I think
Eastern time. So hope you're having your coffee with me. Oh man, that is good. I love it. I really do. Tastes just as good out of this cup as it does that paper cup at McDonald's. I'm slurping it. I'm enjoying it. This is delicious. Delicious. So I think I heard thunder already.
I think crank is a nickname for potentially a drug. I know there was I know that's, not, but I want to say it was spelled with a K maybe. Something there has been used that name. Some people in my comment section said probably potentially methamphetamine. I don't think that's the one. I think it might be something else. But in that line, like maybe a nickname for bath salts or something like that. I used to have to learn these names at the hospital because you always want to make sure, like, if the patient's talking about something, you know what they're on about.
Ready this morning. It's just all around. You just got to get used to it and forget about it. It can rain over there and not over here, so I'm not going to let it bother me.
Methamphetamine. It is the methamphementhamine. Thank you.
There was something I wanted to share with you this
That's what I thought people had said was the methamphetamine. Thank you for clarifying. I don't want to be looking that one up on YouTube too much. They're so fussy. But yeah, it's really not a great term considering caffeine is listed in the DSM-5 with text revision. DSM, sorry, 5 with text revision. What do you need, Roscoe? I just gave you a treat and you got all that water. What do you need, buddy? Oh my goodness. So he wants me to go down and sit on the couch. You're gonna have to wait a minute, buddy. I'm gonna be going to bed after that, probably.
I want to be enthused about it though. Sorry about slurping. That is delicious.
Yeah, that's just kind of rude to your channel though, because like a lot of people don't like those sounds, Tim. So that's just so you believe so. He's gone down a K-hole. I don't know. Well, maybe a C-hole for caffeine. Maybe he goes down a caffeine hole most days. Not that I'm not enjoying a cup of Tetley. I do. I actually have Tetley. I try to, move over to a tea because the coffee's a little bit rough at night, but the tea is so staining. I'm going to be in so much trouble by my dentist. Oh, I look in the mugs. I'm like, oh, Lord, if it's doing that to the mug, goodness knows what it's doing to all my crowns.
Really, really good. I made a good brew this morning. I put in 8 cups of water, 5 scoops of coffee, and some heavy whipping cream, and we got it going on. Last night, yesterday.
He wonders why, if he's 5'7" at 202, he's sitting in the obesity 1 category with all that cream. Just saying. And also, you know, the cholesterol alone can help lead to potentially weight gain.
Just an amazing life. I mean, it seems like
An amazing
the simple
life.
things. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, yesterday I went and hiked the Smoky Mountains." Now, I would love to do that. Don't get me wrong. Or I was in Moab and I went to, down Schaefer Trail, and I'm on the KLS.
Well, they don't have PG tips just like that on the shelves at Kroger, but they do have Tetleys made in the UK on the shelf at a very reasonable price with the round tea bag. So I'll take the Tetley. I drink Tetley in England and PG tips. Either. I'll take either. But since they have Tetley all the way from the UK sitting here on the shelves in the US at the store in a fairly decently under $5 pack for 80 tea bags, I'll take that.
I'm going to do it. If nobody buys it, nobody's going to buy it. We're going to get there. We're going to do a lot of things. We have done a lot of things, and that's what I want to talk to you about this morning, folks. As we stand here, on the brink of crossing over 30 million views on this YouTube channel. I don't even really look at the dashboard on my statistics and analytics that much at all. A lot of creators maybe do and try. So
I thought you were going to suggest that for my teeth, which is how I think the baking soda toothpaste came about. Oh my goodness, I'm just making the worst poll stories. Okay, so Tim's going to talk about the regurgitation of his Social Security content and how he watched a video. And so that's where I think that Tim is a dishonest player. And just hear me out. So obviously the niche of vlogging and sharing your lifestyle is only really good if you are somebody who is highly aspirational. So you have a lifestyle that is at such a degree, like, for example, the young Norwegian footballer Erling Haaland, the guy who just beat Brazil in the World Cup with a 2-1 goal victory. It was 2 scored by this young man, Erling Haaland, who plays in the UK. I'm sure I'm destroying his name, and I apologize. And he has an Instagram page that is blowing up. Your family, you've Earl Grey. I like Earl Grey too. I have Earl Grey in the house as well, so I will drink Earl Grey. But like my daily tea, because Earl Grey can be expensive, is Tetley for the cups, not the teeth. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I think the English get criticized for our teeth is because of our love for tea. It's harsh on the teeth. So I was told to drink white tea, but you just can't drink that with milk. It's got to be drank with milk. Why your teeth are so white? Well, I do actually try to keep them, but usually that's buying those expensive bleaching kits. But they work, and the toothpaste. You're gonna need to trip back to Fortnum and Mason. Well, that's expensive. Nothing wrong with just a good basic cuppa. you don't need all that. Oh, we got something. Oh, Bernie, thank you for that super chat. For Roscoe and Junebug, they get more donations than Tim. Thank you. I appreciate that. And tonight, keeping them quiet is their favorite treat, just to give you a heads up. So thank you so much for that. The puppets do appreciate. They have their little hoofs from the cows that they fill with the peanut butter stuff, and that keeps them pretty occupied for hours, and they last for weeks. And so thank you so much. They appreciate that. Thank you guys. Thank you. And if you've not seen my latest video, yes, he's a striker for Man U. Oh yeah, I suddenly in England beat Mexico, which I'm sure my ex-husband doesn't like, but I do. Oh, England's going to lose. So not to go off on football, but England is going to lose quite badly to Norway. And I hate to say it. It makes me sad. I've had so many disappointing times as an England fan in football for most of my life, probably since I can remember. The first World Cup I really remember watching, which was the one in 1980 that was held in Spain. And so I do remember just a sense of disappointment at all times. And particularly around the 1996 European Cup final held in the UK, where England lost tragically to Germany. I had been interviewed actually, though, prior when England did beat Spain. I believe it was the quarterfinal, or maybe it was the semi-final, because I think they were going on to play in the final then. Maybe, yes. And I was very excited, and I got interviewed in a pub in Shepherd's Bush by the BBC and ended up on the national news in the UK for the BBC, talking about England's victory over Spain. And I didn't tell my parents or anybody because it came on that very night. And I remember I was asleep. This is an aside, sleep on the couch. I suddenly woke up because everybody was out and about, and I came home because I'd been out all night. And I woke up on the settee, as we'd say in the UK. And lo and behold, there I was all over the national news and the sports thing being interviewed. And hey, Thomas, hey, come on in. And when I went to work on Monday, everybody had seen me on the national news that evening because everybody had been, at home watching the World Cup. And my parents had seen me too. And they were quite embarrassed because I was intoxicated. I was quite drunk. And quite excited that England was winning. That's a true story. So as famous as I've been, Tim. See, you're not the only famous person here, Tim. I made an appearance on the national news in 1996 for the BBC. You're not letting him near. Oh, I don't know. He says he helps them with their phone a lot. So who knows how much personal information. All right, let's get back to Tim and how famous he is.
Many different things with fancy thumbnails and editing.
But like I was saying, unless you're like having a super aspirational lifestyle, like an elite athlete or something, or, the likelihood of, just a chap in an RV, that type of content, it's losing its luster. It's not as popular. It's saturated, and Tim doesn't really travel. So what is he doing? And he needs to be honest here with his Social Security video. You can't just regurgitate someone's video and not actually credit them. At least, Tim, when people know that I'm making commentary, you're dead center in it. So nobody can actually say, as much as you want to talk about copyright, my fair use and criticism of your content is completely valid. And at least I'm being honest. I'm going to have the links already to the Consumer Reports, to the BMI. See, we look at lots of stuff here, Tim. You don't credit any of the content creators really in your description. You might mention them in a video, but you actually need to link them in your description box to give them full and proper credit. Now, I mentioned your name and hashtag you, so I've given you credit, Tim.
Software and AI, and they do all of these things to improve their channel. And I know probably some of it works, or they wouldn't do it. But, we don't edit around here. We just shoot from the hip. It's an iPhone, a selfie stick, a cup of coffee, and me. And here we are.
I think he's getting like a chance to sit in their air conditioning and get food and, hopefully get his laundry done. So I think he's just like a child but he's not much younger than they are. And as far as Raffaella, I think he's not much younger. And I think he's just trying to see what, he's just one of those types of mooches is my thought. And he doesn't probably come around with groceries and stuff. And Raffaella being Italian, she's always going to be handing out food.
Getting ready to cross over very, very soon here. 30 million views. And the only reason I knew that, actually, is because I've been saying it for a while, because I did look at my dashboard recently, and I noticed that number, like, wow. Because sometimes I check other creators and see how many views they have.
Leech.
And
so Tim is going to do his YouTube statistics. And I mean, I'm glad he did some actual interesting research for once. For once, he actually did some actual, but it's still with the caveat that Tim has to somehow show how he's better than everybody else. It can't just be, it's Tim. What can we say? He's a malignant narcissist, in my opinion.
I did it. And then the other day, someone left a comment. What are you going to do? How are you going to celebrate when you cross 30 million views? I thought, so, I mean, each 1 million views is a milestone, man. That's a lot of views. And so I went on my dashboard and I decided to get with Google Gemini and I decided to do a little research on what does this mean. Well, the numbers are they blew me.
I know. There is a book that I would love. Maybe I should do a reading club for members only. This, and I'm going. I should get this book. It's another YouTuber called Luther Morgan, and I need to link him in the description. Otherwise, I'm being as terrible as Tim. He has released a book about lol cows and about how, and we've spoken about Tim. Now, some people might think I'm a lol cow. That's fine. I try to be less of a lol cow. Some of it was just to sort of joke on Tim, but then I'm like, well, some people who watch me for the first time might not understand that I'm just kind of trying to be a little bit like ironic and stuff, and it's like, oh, it might fall flat. So I'm like, better temper back on that stuff. So yeah, but I've been interested in actually getting the book and reading it. So because I do still read and books as much as I can. I can't do it like I used to. God, I have to. If I get to read, I need to be doing it early in the day, which inevitably never happens unless I'm like completely out of my home. Because if I'm at my home, I'm going to be doing home stuff, and at night, I'll be honest, I've reached an age now I can't barely get through a paragraph and not fall asleep. So it has to be like at a certain hour of the day now for me, which is sad.
Away. I mean, I couldn't believe it. That's why I got to have this coffee to be able to stand it. Oh, let's just refresh this anytime now. Before I give you the amazing statistics of how I became a famous YouTuber at 67 years old. I like to say that with a lot of fun. And
at 67, I would think that most of your fame had been a few years back, probably 2023. And so that would have put you more at 64 years old. So I want to say that your height of your sort of YouTube fame was some time back ago. I think it's been just a slip downhill since then. Now you just are more infamous, in my opinion, Tim, rather than famous.
Smile. But in the reality of things, the way the channel took off, and even today, I mean, it's just people do still recognize me. I was getting recognized a lot a couple of years ago when those Social Security videos were.
I actually got a book by a New Zealand writer recently. It was this thing they were doing to promote like little independent bookstores, like pop-up bookstores in the Hampton Roads area. I only went to one, which was at my local bakery. It's too much driving, and I'm not that much of a big book person. But so I can't even remember the name. Oh gosh, I'll have to remember.
Well, let's just talk about the accomplishment that I got a mouse in my pocket.
On the TV.
That you and I have actually accomplished together, because obviously.
Yeah, here comes Tim's air conditioning. Yeah, I've done that. One of my favorites is believe it or not, Joseph Conrad's book that was based around Apocalypse Now. Heart of Darkness, which is like really miserable. But I really felt like, I really was like resonating with these books like Steppenwolf and all sorts of stuff back in the day by Kafka.
I couldn't do this without a community. And this is where other creators.
Kafka. No, Steppenwolf was somebody else. Herman Hesse, was it Hesse? That was Hesse, wasn't it? Herman Hesse was Steppenwolf. See, I was reading some really odd German writers, and some of got into like Jean Genet and all sorts of like French writers and all sorts of weird stuff.
Just fall short.
Oh Lord!
I wish everybody could be successful. I like it when I see people succeed. I'm happy for people. I'm not envious or in no way do I not like that. I'm very happy for them. It encourages me to do better and hope that I can reach those kinds of milestones
Stephen
as well.
King. Yeah, that would actually probably make me a little bit spooked. I don't know if I could listen to Stephen King falling asleep. I might be scared. I'd want something really dull. Maybe I could do like something like probably like oh gosh, James Joyce's the Odyssey or something like that. No, that really would send you off to sleep.
Well, apparently, I'm already in a pretty elite group. Wait do you hear these numbers?
Oh, she did?
Let's get this out. We're
Oh,
getting off
that's
that now.
so sad. Penelope Keith passed. Oh my God. I loved To the Manor Board growing up as a child. Oh my gosh. I thought Penelope Keith like really had it going like in fashion and stuff. I mean, really, in the 80s. She was like literally in a tweed skirt. But To the Manor Board was a great show. Oh, that's sad. R.I.P. Penelope Keith.
Oh, yeah.
What's his pay grade
In my
now?
life,
Well, he's making a lot of money now because he's asked his subscribers to watch all the ads. So he's making more money than ever on his YouTube channel. Roscoe, don't knock everything down. So he is getting so big. He's a big dog.
and I'll continue to
Over 70 pounds. Roscoe weighs over 70 pounds. So he's a pretty sizable dog.
share stories about my past marriages, car business, coupon sales, travel, whatever, because that's what this channel is. It's just sharing and talking and people.
And that's not really probably a good plan on the internet. That's where the things are, and that's the thing. When you have a vlogging channel, you really need to be in the present to the future, not to the past. Now, if you want to be in the past, that's when you go on TikTok and do a 31-part series about your toxic ex or whatever. That's a TikTok thing. But to come on YouTube on like aspirational content, because most people who are seeing people vlog, they want to be aspiring to somebody's travel or, being shared their RV tips. I think there's more that you anticipate. And I think that Tim, like I said, has this hardcore echo chamber that sort of sits there. And part of it is a reaction to people who have said something negative about Tim. So they're like just going to hardcore keep supporting him. And some who just, agree with Tim's, politics and so forth. But it's not as many people, I think, as he. He's definitely needs to be putting out a number of videos to get any money. But I think, fortunately for him, the sponsorships and so forth, though, I've noticed that those have even been going down. But that could just be a sign of the creator economy altogether. I know I did something because he wants to brag. Anyway, I'll let him keep going.
They like some videos more than others. They like me to be out on the road and traveling, reviews, standing here just talking, having coffee, going to McDonald's, going to the beach, showing places. And so that's what the channel is. It's just sharing.
Well, he'll be ending that channel by about September then. And there's other garnishments. He said, and because of being a business case too, he can't get out with the bankruptcy. And so it's very quick, the garnishment process here in Virginia. So, and his appeals cannot just be paper appeal. It's very difficult to put an appeal in.
My life, vlogging my life, and showing people and telling people that nobody's promised tomorrow and live life now. Positive thinking, positive talk. Spirituality is becoming.
I don't think we all know that coupon business would never work in this day and age, especially with the modern vehicles and the markup difference between the synthetic oil change and a oil change that was like the 5-quart, which is the regular oil, where that was probably pretty good markup and would send people, because really it wasn't about the oil change. That oil change that Tim was selling was really a way to get consumers in the door for a business to have a motor mechanic. And most of the people probably doing that would be independent businesses rather than your larger like Pet Boys or, one of these larger commercial oil change places like Take 5 or whatever there is around. And a lot of people do them now at their dealerships and so forth. And so I think the market for these types of, getting people into the door to try to get other mechanical business, has changed, because also now with the way cars are made, and how they seem to have mechanics who are specialized for the brands and all the electric vehicles we have now too, and hybrids and so forth. I don't know if that's still a viable business. So I think the one thing I do wonder is if he's being paid by the car wash and does not includes paid promotion, because that's really bad. That actually could get you in trouble with the Federal Trade Commission, that you're advertising a business on a channel and you're not including it in something with your taxes. There's been YouTubers who get in trouble for that sort of cross marketing of a product and not actually declaring it in anything on your channel or within your taxes. Because he mentioned something the other day about them paying him. And so he really does push the limits on stuff. And yeah, great. So he does some really dodgy, in my opinion.
Very important to me. Always has been in my life, but we're kind of emphasizing that a lot more in the recent months. I went through some changes in my own life. And yet, out of all of these different videos and different things I've talked about, I have a community that literally will watch everything I put up. I know some like some videos more than others, or they like to critique. We got the food stuff, the diet issues, and working out, and all these different things. The RV, the type of vehicle, motorcycles, selling, buying, losing money, making money. It's just conversation.
Oh, great. Yeah, great. Losing money on vehicles is just conversation for the thousands of dollars. That's just conversation. Really, Tim? You were driving a leased vehicle before you had your windfall through EIDL and through having that one video from Social Security pop off, where you probably should have been sitting there reacting to the actual creator whose content it was and giving them the props for their information, rather than just regurgitating it and getting all those views based on something you were talking about as secret. I watched that video. There's no secret other than the fact that he says the secret is you can take Social Security at 62. Everybody knew that. How is that the secret? Everyone knows if you take Social Security at 62 years old, you are going to get less than, you're only going to get 70% of your full take-home Social Security. Everyone knows they keep pushing the Social Security age up. That when my grandpapa retired, 62 was the full retirement age in the 1970s. And at some point, it kept creeping up to 65, then 67. And we're all waiting for it to get suddenly pushed to 68 and, further up every year. And we just can't ever quite get to it for Generation X. Every year they increase it another year. Roscoe, can you please go sit down? Thank you, buddy.
Like it.
Roscoe is just like, oh my gosh, he just wants me to go to the couch so he can sit on me. He's something else. It's just like, he's like right at my feet, just he cannot. I tried to distract him with a treat. It did barely work for my dinner time in an hour. All right, thank you, Roscoe.
Homes, they like to sit around and have coffee with me.
He's just so big.
Like me, love me, or hate me. They're watching. They are watching. You are watching. And I
have to do that for a little bit before I go to sleep. But mind you, they're up on the bed anyway. But yeah, they always want to finish out with like a sitcom and some time just hanging out.
I'm very humbled by that, because never did I imagine, 6-7 years ago when I started the channel and started talking about some small things, and a lot of you, like TRD and some others, have been with me since the very outset.
Yeah.
And
yeah, Tim has not traveled in almost a long time, because I think the last time he kind of traveled was to Teddy and Jolene's with the motorbike, and it wasn't that exciting, and we didn't really see much of the road, and Florida's highways, which is the preferred travel for Tim, because obviously a highway is going to be cheaper on the gas mileage. So you're not going to want to take a back road because obviously it is going to be more expensive. And Tim never needed to upgrade to that F-250. He's wasted so much money. How is that your YouTube channel? You started with like trying to tell people about Social Security and minimalism, and then you're just about wasting thousands of dollars on vehicles? How is that content? Please explain. I'm sure one of his subscribers will tell me I'm terrible and how dare I make commentary around his stellar content. All right, keep going, Tim. I'm gonna black myself out so I can get it something to munch on. Keep going, Tim.
Oh, respect. I appreciate that. 4,900 plus videos over the last 5+ years, and to make that kind of video, that many videos, takes work. It takes getting up every day and doing the heavy lifting and putting in the work. And it's original content. It's my content. It's about my life and other things. It's not about other people or other things, or other people. It's just original content, and that's what works. Listen to me on this. God, that's good coffee. I have to share this information with you as a YouTuber.
Sorry there. Was Tim talking about his prison job? Getting up and making 10 video slops a day? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's adding to society, Tim. You rather watch here than watch Tim? Well, I appreciate that. Plenty of money. He doesn't need the views. That's right. I don't have plenty of money. How about that? I'm just an average, regular, registered nurse. I'm not YouTube rich like Tim. But supposedly I just steal his content. Even though in reality, I try to correct his medical misinformation, of which he has plenty. And gross, wearing these clothes with the bug feces in them.
All right, so as I mentioned, we are approaching 30
Is he done with the
million
Mooch
total
Lodge?
views on this channel.
I
And-
wanted to check out whether he went to the Mooch Lodge, but I think it's just become so hot that it's probably become unbearable just to sit there in the sand. I think the kind of, sit by the beach weather in Florida might be too hot. I don't know. I don't live in that area. I was supposed to get to the beach myself, and I avoided it like the plague on Saturday. And Junebug was getting, I just decided to sit outside and wash the dogs. I still was with water. I was like, no, maybe I just don't want to deal with the crowds.
So I started Googling to find out, what does that mean? How good is that? And I was blown away. I really was. This is right from YouTube, dashboard, analytics, and Gemini.
Yeah.
That got 67,000 subscribers and 4,900 plus videos. And so I looked at it, and here's what I found. The 1,000 subscriber wall. You got to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in a year to become monetized.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that question.
And there are 115 million YouTube channels on the planet. 90% of all YouTube creators never managed to cross 1,000 subscribers. And
Well, he only works 2 hours, though, 7 days a week. So he's only hitting about 14 hours. So it's still, even though he complains about having to put videos out because he runs out of ideas, and he does talks about politics that are probably more controversial than anything. And like, he does some, definitely does some politics baiting out here and some bigotry baiting. But yeah.
and achieve monetization. 90%. So I'm already in the top 10%. My channel is monetized. Of course, I have over 1,000 subscribers. The global 1.5% club.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He only works a couple hours a day. So he's still at a very minimal amount of work. Even though I think he's more irritated because YouTube algorithm obviously make sure to reward people when they are putting out content daily. And so, though people say that obviously it doesn't affect you to not have content out daily, I think for the average creator who isn't somebody who's known to do like really, high level, in-depth investigative type videos, which some creators do. And there's some that do, like some of these young creators. There's one guy, and he's pretty much talking about legends and things of that nature, and myths, Bigfoot and blah blah blah, that have been commonly spoken about I don't know how many times. But he's a younger guy, and I just happened to stumble upon this weekend. And the way he presents his content is obviously high energy with these young people, and they're talking to people. And so, it's a content that and material sort of similar that people have talked about millions of times, it seems, on programs and on the internet. Absolutely. People always talk about Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, but it's just a younger person going to doing it. So he captures a young audience, gets millions of views per video. And so they probably could do it once a week and still get, a lot of views. They're probably not putting out daily videos. But Tim is at a place where he literally, to make anything and get any views, is not having to only put them out daily. Sometimes he's pumping out 10 videos a day. But I think once he's been able now to have convinced his subs to continue just watching everything through to the end and keep the ads running, it's given him enough AdSense that he's been able to reduce the videos down somewhat. So he's not putting out as many. That's just my thoughts.
Is where I'm at. Sitting at 67,000 subscribers automatically places a creator in the top 1% to 1.5% of all active channels on the entire planet. That blew me away right there. Less than 3% of all channels globally on the planet ever crossed 10,000 subscribers.
Right.
Less than 3%.
Right. There's all sorts that have all sorts of ways of presenting their YouTube channels and have been able to turn it into their full-time jobs. And I think most of them who probably are understanding how this business works are probably not trying to lavishly spend their lifestyle and money. And so if you have a channel where you're not trying to provide aspirational content, because that's what Tim's channel kind of is doing for people. But most of the people probably watching probably actually have more stuff than Tim. They probably just feel more aligned with Tim because of his political bigotry. I think that's pretty much why he has the people who watch him. I think they just have the same politics that Tim has, and faux Christianity.
The vast majority of channels do not manage to get monetized, stay under 1 million total views in their entire lifetime.
Well, that's not me, Tim. I was monetized before I started making content on you. So I'd already crossed that hurdle and hadn't had my channel for that long as a commentary channel before I became monetized. So I did pretty well on that. I think most of my harm has come from you, Tim. Strangling me in the algorithm. And then obviously my taking time off to go back to grad school and not being able to balance work and grad school and a YouTube channel. Because YouTube they do, when you're a smaller creator, want you, especially the type of content that I do, want you to be good to putting out stuff more frequently in order to kind of keep you in front of people's eyeballs. And when you start to deviate from that, YouTube can be a harsh taskmaster. So Tim is kind of forced to have to continue. He can't really kind of break away from it. And, his content's going to have a tough time.
Even get over 1 million views in their entire lifetime. The 30 million milestone, approaching 30 million lifetime views, puts a channel into an elite, rare tier that less than 0.5% of creators globally ever reach. The 4,900 video consistency, less than a fraction of 1% of creators possess the lifetime consistency to upload.
Well, he's got a chance to travel. He's got a chance to travel to Virginia Beach. I mean, he's never been to Virginia. So, I mean, I gave him an opportunity. I mean, he's supposed to come here. I mean, whether he decides to come here is his choice, but he's been ordered by the judge. That's up to him. He's on a pretty serious civil statutes. So, I mean, yes, he's not being held on a criminal case, but the civil statutes that he's being tried on by me starting the case, because people are like, oh, anyone could open a lawsuit. Yeah, well, this one's actually going to trial on August the 13th. And you can't just open lawsuits and not anybody could send like paperwork from an attorney where you're saying you're going, you're expecting this, that, and the other, and sort of like sort of initiating the start of a case, which is what I did with my cease and desist anyway.
5,000 videos. It represents a daily commitment. It can't be faked, it can't be shortcutted, and it cannot be duplicated. And like I said, when I started this channel, it was just a journey to talk about my life and to connect with real people.
Right.
The
only channels that put that many videos out a day are like political channels that are putting out like news clips all the time. Some of those commentary political channels, they will put out like 7, 8, 9 clips a day. They put out a lot of content. It's, I guess, highly competitive. And sometimes they'll have a show, like a podcast type show. And they're all, it's amazing when you look at some of those, how many different places they release their material, to how they get the, longer shows. And obviously it's a podcast too, and recorded in a studio. And then they break it up into clips, and the clips are released. I mean, they maximize about every facet out of that content in order to get it out to people and make money. And I don't know how they pay them on the news end, but some of these people really do put out a lot. But Tim is like vloggers. No, they don't do like Tim does.
Expected to be sitting in a global top 1% of creators. But I got here, like I said earlier, by doing the hard work and creating my own original content. I'm not copying anybody's content.
That is not even true, Tim. Everyone says that my dogs are like ganging up on me. And I just took them out and gave them treats and fed them and everything. They're obviously so tired of listening to Tim. They're like ganging up on me, like to come and hang out with them. It's like, later, guys. Gosh. Hey, it was something else. They're like bratty teenagers sometimes. I laugh. Anyway. Oh, Tim, keep going. Gosh, these dogs are making me lose my train of thought. Oh, why have I got this going? That's not what I wanted. Sorry, I don't know why this keeps playing. No, let me go back. I don't know why I've lost Tim's like stalting here. Oh, here we are.
I might regurgitate a few things I've heard.
I
regurgitate things that I understood about Social Security, because I collected Social Security and I wanted to help others.
Yeah, that's it. Not
but I explained it the way.
Thank you for returning me back to that point. Thank you. Sorry, I got so distracted because my dog's like. So yeah, he's definitely known to regurgitate a lot. Do I use Tim's material and roast him? Yeah. But do I also talk about other topics along with it? Absolutely. Is it streaming? Absolutely. I have wanted to do more about, I did treat off-grid living Mikey the other day, and people told me he was depressing. So he's not really somebody I want to, so people find him now in such a, bad place that watching his, 30-minute dry beg fest, or just, I shouldn't even say dry beg, just beg fest at the start of his live stream the other day. People are like, this is depressing.
I understand it. It's my own original content. I show my own life. I stay in my own path. I stay in my own lane. There's no shortcuts to this game. And
did he get this from AI? Because he keeps talking about no shortcuts and this, that, and the other. I'm just trying to figure out if he got it from like AI. I mean, not that Tim hasn't obviously consistently pumped out a lot of videos a day. And I have to say that takes some effort, because it is not always easy to feel like you want to get out and put out content. There are days where, like, when, for example, the night of the 4th of July, I was thinking I was going to go live because I was like, there'll probably be people home. And obviously it's great to get as much time out on my content too. But I knew too, I had been busy throughout the day. I was a little bit tired. And that June bug is absolutely just a mess when the fireworks start, even when medicated. And and so I was like, it was too much. So I just didn't do it. So it is a commitment. I will give Tim for that. But I think his monetary gain has been enough to keep it kind of interesting and motivating for him. And it's not that hard of work. And just coming out and talking about himself and his stories and his past life and stuff, it really takes not much effort. Driving and talking about going to eat food at Fred and Raphaelis, there's nothing to plan. He doesn't do any thumbnails. This video he did a little bit of editing. He really puts out about the lowest amount of effort content in the history of YouTube. It's pretty low down there.
Like I said, you build it by showing up and keeping it real every day. But that is amazing. And I never knew that there were that many creators and only that few that ever get monetized, that ever get over 1 million views, that ever reach.
Well, I've done that, Tim. So you can't be bragging against me. And some people are like, well, maybe he's trying, because he keeps trying to tell the judge that he is a famous YouTuber. I need to take a look at the EID, the original letter that he sent to the first case, where he actually admits to the EIDL and all of that and complains about the process server. It's here somewhere. I know I had it in a video. I had to clean it up because I doxed him by accident. Too much.
Even 10,000 subscribers. So
yeah, 10,000.
Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, all of you out there that have watched. Literally,
I know Miss Vicky's been trying. I'm obviously on trying to get to the road to 10K. I promise you, I had 1 week I gained 11 subs, and YouTube took away like 15. I guess I get really cleaned out. That's my hardest thing for growth, is getting enough subscribers to outpace YouTube's auditing of my account. And I really want to say that they audit me pretty heavily. And I want to say it's because this guy put 0 trust scores on my account. God, look at that. The eyes are just...
Every video I've ever made, you comment, and all of these things. Of course, it did help when I had viral videos that pushed the videos out there. But then those videos, while they still get views, those people that watch those videos have decided to subscribe to the channel and watch the other content as well, because they just like the originality.
What is the originality, Tim? You literally have sayings that I understand are from other, like, content creators. You yourself have openly admitted that all your sayings, everything, your personality, everything about you is just a sort of amalgamation of other people's personalities that you've liked and sayings that you like. So where is the originality in all of that is my question.
And a lot of you out there, you know, I love it how, you know, we use a lot of sayings on my channel. I've shared a lot about my life, how I pick up things from movies and other people that I...
Oh, there we go. He's explaining it now. Yeah, great, guys. You two aren't really being the most irritating dogs in the world. Goodness me. Roscoe. All right, keep going, Tim. I'm going to have to do something with the cat.
Steam, and you try to repeat those in the comments and use them and, you know, of course, crush it. And it's just a real compliment to the engagement that my community has. So many creators, I think they fail because they're a one and done thing. You know, how to build a fence, dig a hole, boil a pot of water, you know, boil an egg, make a cake. Some people watch those videos over, oh, I'm gonna get another recipe. But very few creators just have a unique channel like this, where it's just about nothing. It's like a Seinfeld episode. It's a channel about nothing. And I just turn on this camera several times a day and just start talking and sharing. And some are interesting and some aren't as much. Other people have told me they don't even watch. They just listen. They just want to hear my voice. And I've heard so many complimentary things. And then the people that go out of their way, that have flown here, that ask me to come to their place when I'm traveling through, to stay at their Airbnb or their house.
Yeah, they're being really bad tonight. They're distracting. Oh my goodness. I really tried to give them like toys and everything, like new treats, just to keep them down and occupied. Not working. Sorry, guys.
Or park my RV in their yard, or, let's go have a meal together. I just want to meet you. What does that tell you?
That tells me that they should be frightened because they don't. It tells me that they don't have any ability to discern character on the internet. And even after people try to warn people that you take stuff, and that one couple gave you that battery thing, and you turned around and you took it, and then turned around and sold it on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, it's not as if they couldn't have turned around and sold it on Facebook Marketplace and got the money. I know how these people are still talking to you. I don't know. Because I think if any woman behaved that way, their friendship would be long and over. I think you get a hall pass for being a deadbeat dad and a bunch of other stuff from people that you really shouldn't be getting. But, that's just the sort of gender inequality of this country.
I mean, that's very humbling. That's very cool that people, find something about you. They just want to say hello to you and meet you. And the comments that I get all the time that people don't have to do. They don't have to take the time to do it. They don't have to say these things. Yeah. But they constantly, every day encourage. And I want you to know, all of you out there that are very avid commenters, and I've said this, I used to say it all the time. Don't you think for 1 second that if you leave a comment on this YouTube channel that it isn't read. Now, lately, because of the growth of my channel and just being busy or lazy or whatever, I'm
thinking this is a response from Tim. Sorry, we're having to eat my comfort dessert over here because we know how it goes with Tim. I keep going, Tim.
I said a long time ago, I said I'd never do this because YouTubers will just go down the line and they click the heart.
Oh, that's it. Your comment stuff. Tim, you delete most of your comments. And you have so few comments. And sometimes there are people where I just give them a heart or something because I do actually work a full-time job. But, others, if I like a comment, I'll make a response. I try to respond to as many as I can. But obviously, this is your job. You should be responding. I'm responding to more comments, just reading my comments here in a live chat.
Like, yeah, I saw you. Yeah. Thanks. No.
Yeah,
I'm doing that.
Deleted. Yeah, he's deleted
because it does help in the algorithm, and it does show some respect if I don't personally answer. And I've learned how to do the audio answer too to your comments. But I do want to give you a heart and let you know.
Oh, it's not that hard, Tim. You just hit the record button.
Oh, besides just saying.
I mean, just what they need to hear, more of your voice. Because they don't get to hear it enough.
This to you, that I did read your comment, good or bad or indifferent. I read every single comment. It's not like I get 5,000 comments either.
Tim's saying this because I said some video about Tim's subscribers. I don't know. I swear half the time he does these things. I'm the catalyst for most of your conversation now, Tim. Because I said something about your subscribers and comments or something. I don't know. 37 days till trial, guys. I got under 40 days. Oh my gosh, we're almost at 30. I mean, the countdown is for real.
Some people do. And there's no way they can be reading all those comments. I'm still getting comments.
Right.
Get this one.
This is the lowest views I've ever my life.
You don't see it because you're not following.
But the most amount of ad watching, which makes him happy. He said he worked out 33 minutes. How many mid rolls?
My old videos. But as a creator, I'll get a comment on any video I've ever made sent to me immediately. And when I had the Toyota Tundra, I made a video how I went to 3 different Toyota dealers to get the transmission fluid change. And they told me it's a lifetime fluid and we won't change it. We're not getting involved in it. It's a sealed system. We won't do it. Can't do it. Not going to do it. And you will not believe how many people got angry about that. That, they're full of crap. Them dealers, there's a drain plug. There's a this. What are you saying? You can never, look, I used to respond to them and say, look, I traded that. I got a Super Duty now. Not my problem.
I would not listen to people in my comment section when it came to my vehicle. I would look at what it said in the handbook because that's what's going to also keep it under warranty. And start just draining transmission fluid. These vehicles are not built the same. They're not made. They don't even run on the same oil. You know, you were shadow banned. Oh, that's everybody. But
the algorithm in that video, the views I get, are incredible. They still, bring in the comments. It still gets people because people that own Toyota Tundras are very passionate. It's just like the Toyota 4Runner.
Oh my gosh, that's what's so wild. He's still getting comments on some of the older ones.
I used to have. That's when I adopted TRD into the community. He has a 4Runner, and it's like a cult. These people love these trucks, and they're the best thing since sliced bread. They're way better than a Wrangler, and it's like people with Corvettes and any other kind of specialty car. There are factions of people that like certain things, and that Tundra, I do kind of miss that truck. I had a limited. It was every conceivable option. It was not a 4-wheel drive. It had the best looking wheels.
How does this talk about how you accidentally became a famous YouTuber, Tim, and you weren't 67, so that's already a lie. Is that you got $58,400 in an EIDL loan that suddenly made you look like you had a lot more going on. And then the pandemic happened, and everybody that was around your age, because it's a large age cohort, was thinking to themselves, I don't know if I really want to be working with all this going on, because nobody knew what was going to happen in the world at the time. Especially with a lot of people getting sick and stuff. So people wanted to find a way to potentially retire early. So I think you kind of hit a wave there, Tim. And also people were, just bored sitting around at home, and the sort of content that was in the trailers and, people downsizing into RVs and all this sort of stuff and traveling around. It got very popular. There's a ton of people that had those channels. Now there's very few. Bob Wells is out there.
Wasn't that fond of the color? It was all right.
I mean, there's a lot, but there's so many, it's like saturated. And Tim's views comparatively to some of the others have really fallen down the, and obviously I make content on them, so I can't expect my views to be much better.
But it was a limited, and it was loaded. And it was the last year, 2021, of the 5.7 liter V8. And that thing was a giddy up horse. She was a good one. She pulled this camper, my crasher. I call my camper.
Oh, yes. And I heard that Eric, that's not even his original name. I let other creators talk about him because they seem to be very protective of the fact that they only want to be the ones making commentary. And I just don't need to go into some community that, been covering somebody for a long time. And, knows all his ins and outs. But he changed his name in Nomadic Fanatic because he had previously spent time in a prison up in, I think it was Oregon or Washington, one of those states. I think it was Oregon. And because he had committed some robberies. And so when he came out of prison, he had his name changed. When he got, I guess, started out a new life because he didn't want to be associated with his criminal past. And so he actually does have a really, so it's interesting when he got all upset, supposedly with somebody stealing his laptop, since he supposedly was a burglar. That's, and I have actually read the, because I found out his real name. So I have actually seen, I think I have it. Maybe I still even have a copy around here somewhere. The sort of like release or whatever was coming out of like the court system there when he was sentenced. So he has been, he's got the one for beating up in court. Yeah, he's got that too. And Tim always says he's never even had a traffic ticket. And that's not true. If you have been part of one of my members only lives, I did actually go over all his traffic tickets that he's had from the time he was probably up at Sturgis or something, because it seemed to be from up in that area. And then all of the time he lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, he got a number of traffic tickets. So it's just like, I have traffic tickets. Why lie?
For the crasher, because I crashed in it all the way to Laughlin, Nevada and back. I knew it was back there, but she did it because that engine is everything they say it is. It's indestructible.
Too much more.
But
I'm sure that you're probably more busy than I am. I'm probably a pretty introverted home person. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not out here trying to brag that I'm, living my best life ever.
It's just not a super duty. You know, you don't see everybody driving around
God.
with Tundras pulling big campers.
Yeah,
They pull
yeah,
small ones, medium ones. Pulled this one.
Yeah.
This is about its max right here.
Yeah, this is Tim's court preparation is by like, you know, he's trying to make sure his mindset is about how good he's going to do daily, telling everyone how great and famous he is. That's right. Aren't you jealous? Aren't you jealous that he's more famous than you are?
And the 4Runner, it couldn't tow anything. It's worthless on that. It's just a good looking and a very formidable off-road vehicle. I mean, watch my video on
oh gosh, there was one channel that makes commentary about Sarasota Tim. I was like, this isn't really a good look. It's the way the guy was dressed, or I should say, not dressed, and sitting in his chair. He looked like he wasn't wearing anything and drinking a beer. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna fly. I know he was dressed, but it was the way I was like, yeah, I don't think we need to watch that. It's a little much.
How I conquered Hell's Revenge. 4Runner conquers Hell's Revenge. Check that video out if you want to see. You want to see what a 4Runner can do and what I did with a brand new truck. Brand new.
There's a rumor going around.
Didn't have it 30 days. The channel is obviously pretty well respected globally too by manufacturers and corporations that like to use a certain creator.
Yeah, that was a scary video. I was like, oh yeah, that's not a good look. Yeah, he's not doing much in his retirement though. Just like, yeah, it's not a channel I can just deal with. Like, there's nothing to gain. I get nothing from that channel.
By sending them products for reviews because they have an audience that they hope will see their product and buy their products. So this is why I get with, you know, e-bikes and grills and power stations and just everything under the sun.
And I'm thinking then the off-grid land is the next. There's some I've seen that, and Mikey obviously started and failed, and that's a commitment. I mean, you are literally committing your life and you're making these commitments in order to have a channel. I saw that recently with a creator who was out and he was just making like sort of commentary, well, not commentary, but just kind of, you know, essay style. I would say essay style channel. And he kind of cracked off, and I guess his channel grew and he made a good amount of money. And I guess he had been somebody who had retired, not with a lot, very low income. And many of these people suddenly get very fortunate and will make very good money from YouTube, life-changing money. And this gentleman recently went off grid and bought a property and is showing all of this. But you can tell he really is disciplined. Like, he's really the opposite from Tim. So really isn't a reason to make commentary around this person because he doesn't lolcal it like Tim does. Like, he literally was out writing his... You can see he had like his little piece of paper written and wrote his essays, and I think they were probably coming from the whole. I don't think he was using AI. It didn't sound like it. He sounded like he had his own narrative style. And so, yeah, very different from Tim just shooting, you know, from the hip and chatting and, you know, wasting his money. But yeah, I think the off-grid might be the next thing.
Received so many different types of products in the last few years because of the popularity and the views that I get on the YouTube channel. These companies, they search YouTube and look at the analytics of channels that...
Yeah, Tim is not an off-grid. Tim likes to be next to new and modern. Tim said the other day if he could be living in a McMansion, he would be living in a McMansion. He has no desire to be living off-grid. That's Tim's idea of a nightmare. He barely can function with the RV and it not being parked at a campsite or a Love's truck stop. And that's why the whole adventure of him taking the dirt bike into the middle of nowhere and sleeping in the tents and, you know, riding his dirt bike all day just sounded like ridiculousness because it didn't match anything about how Tim actually operates with his actual behaviors.
Have that kind of views and how long people watch and the stuff that I never look at. And so it was, like I said, a very humbling bit of information to find out about recently. I'm looking for the 100,000 subscribers. That's my next goal. And there is it's kind of a stalling.
Oh, so yes, I'm thinking that. And when those types of videos and those types of creators, those aren't the fun ones to make commentary around. Obviously, when somebody is successfully having their channel, you know, and doing things and, you know, being able to grow and adapt their channel. And that's the one thing that Tim has just never found his niche. Where he started his popularity was talking about Social Security. And so that is the difficulty, is that the problem is that once his channel takes off and you're talking about, limited income and Social Security, and suddenly your income isn't limited and you're not really honest with your audience. Like, Tim was never super honest about his, YouTube take home, because Tim wouldn't want to be, because then he'd have to be honest to the IRS. So any of the things that really would have kind of potentially have grown his channel around, because that's what he chose. Minimalism, Social Security, the fixed income. And that usually requires some, I would say, transparency. And he was initially transparent. He talked about his outgoings, how he was spending his money, but then he talked about his EIDL and that loan and how he used it to pay off personal debt. And that came a catalyst to have a lot of commentary channels, including mine. Well, mine was when he got naked, but having that type and his bad medical misinformation. But all of that is something that has stopped him from wanting to share, I think, everything the way he should. So his channel's a mess.
There at 67.
That's my fault.
But getting over that 10, very few do. So I think this is going to happen for us. And through you checking your subscription, that you are definitely still following the channel and you're subscribed. The numbers go up and down every day. It's a weird thing that happens with 8, 10, 12, 15 at the most subscribers. But like I said, since I've asked you to watch the commercials and stuff, the revenue has changed and it's starting to.
Such a violation of terms of service, but oh well. He waits till the very end. So Tim knows how to play all of this stuff pretty well.
Go up again from where it kind of went down after Social Security and all that. And it kind of went for like this for quite a while.
I cannot believe that it's making that big of a difference. This is like, I think, like a narcissistic cope. I almost want to say this isn't really the truth. I want to say that Tim is gaslighting his audience. That I cannot believe that when you're getting 10,000 views, 2,000 views to a video, and the actual number of your hardcore subscribers who are going to watch that through are not even half of that number. I mean, I probably the haters watch it more all the way through, because we're more likely to try to watch out to see if you like break traffic rules or something. So who knows? But I just can't imagine that it's bringing in that much anymore. He used to say he could bring in like $2,000 a month. I mean, maybe he does. I don't know what he classifies his stuff as. That can make a difference too. So who knows with Tim?
Good enough that I still wanted to do it as far as making money at it.
Well, of course, Tim. Otherwise, he'd actually have to stand in the supermarket for more than 2 hours giving out hot dogs. And he doesn't want to do that because that's actually like real work.
But I mainly want to continue.
And that's what people liked. That actually probably was the thing that blew his channel up the most, was his, talking about his side hustles and stuff. Because hey, Dinger, how are you? His content has a lot of skip through. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that, that just is not worth watching. But then he always has a gold nugget. Like the other day, he was right at the end of his video. He called his, when he was coming back home from Fred and Raffaella's and arriving back at his place, he was like, called it home crap home. He was getting real feisty over those couple of days. He was, wanting to live. He was driving, because unfortunately for Tim, as he goes over to Lakewood Ranch to see Fred and Raffaella, there's a new subsection, I guess, that's being built over that way. And he can see all these new homes being built. And just as much as he says he hates a house, he wants a room in that one of those places. He may not want the whole house, but he wants to be in that area. Doesn't want it to be living in this, really. So it's all lies, because this is not really what he enjoys. That's why it's so hilarious.
To do it, because I can't put this camera down. I can't stop making videos now. I mean, I had a couple of days where I didn't make a video. Okay. I was a little bored.
Just as he's mentioned Virginia Beach is that woman in Virginia. on a recent video. Oh, he's too much of a malignant narcissist. Do you really think that this malignant narcissist is going to actually come to the channel ahead of time and mention that he has a court date on August the 13th? Heck no. Absolutely no way. For somebody who tries to sell some type of aspirational lifestyle, living out of the 24-foot camper, the Flagstaff in Bradenton, Florida, actually going to talk about the fact that he maliciously used the copyright removal system? No. He's either going to say it in some backhanded way, and he does not want to give my channel any of that attention. I mean, he will bitch and moan about JJ and all those other guys, but to even, for me, no. The only things he's ever done has been creepy about coming to Virginia Beach when I sent the cease and desist in April of last year. I have the video where I talk clearly about him being a creep, and he looks like he was drunk that night saying he wanted to come to Virginia Beach because he'd never been that far north before. And if anybody followed, any of my timelines, that's when I sent the cease and desist the first time from the attorneys. And then ever since then, not really. No, he never will. Now, watch the day after court because he doesn't have a case. It's just, doesn't have a case. Doesn't have any evidence. And you can't suddenly say, all these people who think all this stuff, no. There's nothing that can be submitted now. Anything that gets said, done, any of these things are irrelevant to anything for my trial. Everything for my trial by Sarasota Tim had to be handed in with either my bill of particulars, which was May 8th, and then it was Tim's grounds of defense, which I believe was like May 29th. They were the things, and if the courts in Virginia, for General District Court, there is no discovery. That's a higher level of court. That's civil court. That's not General District. And that's a way to not make this process go out forever and a day, because that's a whole different thing when you go into discovery. Most cases don't need all of that. And then the other part, obviously, is you have to have this all submitted in. There's no surprises allowed. You can't just suddenly show up with a witness or a piece of evidence that is not submitted. If you have not submitted it in by those dates, it is not submitted. That's it. End of story. So every state is different. Every court is different. And so people blanketly trying to assume they understand. And then business tort cases are different and stops how people are able to file bankruptcy. Everything is different. But how this case is, it's giving me a lot more protections and very few for Tim when he loses, because he has no evidence to back anything up. He's not responded to my bill of particulars. He's not responded to the case. Can't just come in and start talking about whatever the heck he wanted. He had to respond to my case, of which he did not do.
I'm just tired, couldn't think of something. I don't know what it was. I just didn't want to do it. But by that evening or that next day, it's like not going to the gym. Matter. You feel like, hey.
And I don't care if he doesn't show up. I just move for the default judgment. There's no, and it's not, they're not going to say, oh, well, Tim didn't make it. Let's give him another chance. No, it doesn't how it works in Virginia. He doesn't show up on the 13th of August because everything's been submitted and they've seen my case, and I've crossed every T and dotted every I to make the judge feel very comfortable in giving me the judgment on this case, and given enough evidence and all the preponderance and all the things that are required, all the correct process served, all the people want to say he's going to complain about how he was served. He's done that. He's tried that. He's failed. He's been properly served. So and obviously I keep putting out shorts and videos because I'm psychologically messing around with not only Tim, but all of his subscribers out there too. And it works. And they get very upset and they all want to tell me about how I can't garnish. Oh, I promise you, there's Tim is no mastermind, okay? But one thing he does know how and he thinks he's smarter than other people. So he's not going to be smart enough to try to hide stuff. And the motorbike, I garnish that. I get that thing taken by a sheriff and sold off in an auction. It's like people just like want to make up stuff because they don't want to understand that maybe a woman has figured out how to get how to sue somebody really easily, and that just kills their male egos. And I get a lot of misogyny. It's wild. Love it.
I feel guilty. People are counting on me. I'm counting on myself. And plus it is a revenue source.
Who's counting on you, Tim? Because you certainly don't help your family out. So unless you're talking about these subscribers, Tim, you disappear, they'll just go watch somebody else. They don't care.
All of that. Yes, I do it for revenue. Yes.
It'd be like me. If I disappeared, people would notice a day and then move on their merry way.
I do it because I love it. And yes, I do it because I know you love it.
You only love the money, Tim. And the thought of the adulation. And the fact that you can walk around talking about being a famous YouTuber. Once you get all that taken away, Tim, it's going to be very sad for you. But we won't know because you won't be filming it. And you're not smart enough to start thinking about going over to Kick. I don't think your audience would go to Kick or Twitch or anything. So I think any of those other platforms are not going to work for you. It's like me going to Kick or Twitch. Like, come on.
And you're important to me, all of you out there. And I've said it before. Quite a few of you that I have met, it seems like you're related because you're all the same. You're all like the salt of the earth. You've all got this sweetness about.
Tammy's thoughts. Oh, she's glad she's out of Dodge. Tammy is glad to be gone. Promise you that much. Tammy has been gone for almost a year. If it doesn't, and if Tim shows up, I still win. It just doesn't matter which way Tim goes. I win. I win dragging him from Florida to Virginia and still winning because he has no evidence. There's nothing that he can win with. It literally, I have won the case. It literally have to be a freak for me not to win. Because Tim has no evidence and I have a preponderance and a huge amounts. Remember, he complained. So this case is won. We just have to wait. If Tim shows up, he will be asked about all his, he's going to be compelled to have to produce evidence that he says he's destroyed. Because I actually have a motion to compel that he is supposed to come to court to produce emails about certain things that he's talked about with people that are part of the conspiracy theory. And if he's tried to say he doesn't have them anymore, well, basically he's destroyed evidence. And he's been put on legal notification for some time. This is what Tim doesn't understand. And sometimes it's complex to explain it on the internet because people don't always understand every aspect of Virginia business tort law. It's very different from just a regular, sue somebody in a, small claims court for a landlord. It's different when you're actually dealing with some, these are pretty intense civil statutes, primarily because it gives treble damages. So anyway, and I'm keeping it reasonable amount of money and reality in order to get the judge comfortable with giving me the judgment. But he doesn't have any, he's going to have to, the medical emergency is going to have to be one actually signed off by a physician or a hospital. He can't just call the court and says he got a cold or he's had an emergency. He literally would have to have paperwork to say that he's in a hospital. So he's already tried all of these things, guys. He's already tried it, remember, with the WebEx. So you can't just make up something without paperwork when it comes to a court. That's in the fantasy world of, internet drama, but that's not in the real legal world. That doesn't fly. And that's why you don't take this stuff on federal cases or load yourself with a bunch of attorneys. You're smart enough to understand. Now, Tim did need an attorney because Tim doesn't even understand what he's getting sued for. Yeah, well, he's going to have to literally be having an active coronary that day. And I promise you, they'll move you out of hospital in about 3 or 4 days now. You're not in that long. If it's just a stint, you know, you can be back up and running in a day or two. So that's not even going to be enough. If you're not Team Tim, you're evil and demonic. Yeah, you are all of those things. Absolutely. But I've had every type of, you know, and obviously, like I said, I keep putting out shorts and things. It's a psychological thing because I know it irritates Tim. It irritates his subs. But people love to tell me how I'm going to lose without knowing anything about my case. See something weighing on his mind the last couple of days. Hasn't been cranking out the videos. I think it's the heat. Maybe it's been raining there. He can't film in front of Rafaela's house. They're not going to allow that. They used to let him film in the house, I think. Remember, they used to let them do the meals and stuff. And I'm not imagining any CPR on him. Thank you, Catherine. That's gross. I'd get my mask out. How about them apples? I have a mask that I carry, and I would definitely mask up. I have it in my car, actually. I have a CPR thing for a kit. Yeah, he's getting pretty close. He's up there with the quartering. He's up there with Jeremy Hamblin. He's definitely up there with like DSP gaming and all sorts of stuff. He's getting up there. Will Tim's reputation be hurt? Well, you know, we're going to do what we can do. Like I said, it's, you know, I can't be the predictor of everything, but I know I'm going to get the judgment to YouTube for them to look at.
You, this proud to be an American type person. And they're generally...
Really? I'm embarrassed you're an American from a fellow American.
Mature people. They're not all the same age.
Oh, okay. Really, Tim? I've actually got some people now on there who are between 25 and 35 watching my content. Thank you, guys. I love you for it. I actually got some young folk. I feel flattered because I'm like, why would young folk want to wake me at fake chest pains? Yeah, but you can get, but you know what they're, you can fake some chest pains, but they're not going to keep you in that hospital but a few hours and then toss you out. There's no hospital. All they're going to do is waste his time in an emergency room and then tell him he's got GERD. That's not going to get him enough to get out of a court case. So good luck. Because in reality, he should have been traveling up to Virginia on a plane at that point. So he needs to, if that's going to be happening, he needs to be sitting in the heart hospital in Norfolk, Virginia. So I don't think that any of that stuff is going to be able to transpire. Hospitals don't just, you know, let that stuff happen, you know, simple. They're not going to, you know, he won't be getting a cath. You know, he's going to actually have to show on an EKG that he's got some type of elevation in his he's going to have an ST elevation or something. You know, he's going to have some type of ST elevation. He's going to either have to have a STEMI or an InSTEMI, or he's going to have lab work with like troponins. Because if he doesn't have any of that walking into an emergency room, there's no reason to pop him over into a heart hospital or a cath lab. And without any of those hallmarks of an active coronary, you can say you have chest pain all day, but you know exactly how to determine chest pain. And you can slap an EKG. You can get an 8 lead, a 12 lead going. Yeah, but that's not going to get him anywhere. It's just going to get him a hospital bill and taken out of an emergency room in 8 hours. You can't give yourself an InSTEMI, and you can't certainly give yourself an ST elevated myocardial infarction. You just can't do that. And he can't just go into a hospital and get some troponins elevated. So I don't think it gives him any actual ideas. Yeah. Well, no, but you actually have to submit to the court. You can't just say that. It's like Tim saying to them, I'm on a fixed income. Unless there's actual verified evidence of that. And just walking into a hospital and saying, suspected chest pains without actually having it determined that you have chest pains and you got an actual catheterization and a stent put in, it's not going to fly. So, I mean, it's, everything will be negative. Yeah, but that's not an excuse. I know that he will think it's an excuse. Like he thought it was an excuse to get a WebEx by saying that he's on a fixed Social Security income. But everybody, just as much as in medicine, you have to have evidence to actually get to a diagnosis. You can't just be pulling out the air and saying, oh, well, I think the person has this because this is going on. You literally have to have evidence to show it. Concrete, objective numbers. Same in the court system. You can't just walk in there and say, trust me, bro, or call somebody and say, nope, I'm having a medical emergency, and not actually fax over paperwork saying that. And if you're in the middle of an emergency, you're not going to be the person calling in the first place. So it was $400K. Well, if Tim was only, if Tim was only 5 days in the hospital, he needs to take a look at his insurance because it's going to actually cost him a lot more with that Medicare Advantage plan, because a lot of those have a hospital time limit. And it's not less time, it's more time. So you have to be really sick because they get you out of hospitals quick nowadays. For example, they were talking about a guy who wasn't going to be streaming because he was getting a knee replacement. I was like, what are you talking about? They want you walking within like a day. There's none of that sitting around. They're not going to load you up with pain medications and let your ass sit in the bed. You got to have a really bad one. Because I've seen people who do have that happen, but they have other medical issues going on that make them not healthy to, get moving. Most of the time, they want you up and going pretty quick after rehab. So it's not the same. Things are not the same anymore. I don't know what that point was. Oh, a 50-year-old is his. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we know that.
And the races are all kinds of races. It's not just white guys or black guys.
Oh, gosh. Tim is trying to convince us that he has an audience that's multicultural and multiracial. Has anyone felt that Tim has a multiracial, multicultural subscriber base? Because I would say no. But Tim is convinced that black people watch his content.
It's gals, guys, different age groups, and different races too. It's like an eclectic channel. It's an eclectic community. With one thing being in common, I would probably think that most of them are, mature people. I don't think I got too many teenagers.
Right. And often that's where my colleague got into some serious financial hurt from her Medicare Advantage plan, where she had a hospital stay. The stay was under 10 days. And she found she was on the hook for most of that hospital visit because it had to be over 10 days, which is an extremely, extremely long amount of time in a hospital nowadays. If you were that long in a hospital, you are really sick. You are Mitch McConnell dying. Oh my God, where is Mitch McConnell? Maybe I should do an episode about where is Mitch McConnell. Because supposedly, I want to see the EMS. Because it's really because I worked at a heart hospital, and I understand that he had a cardiac event and was out before the ambulance and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's not good. I don't think he's alive, and if he is, he's being kept alive by machines. Just my opinions.
Who's watching? They think they got forever. Us geezers realize that. Nobody's promised tomorrow, and life goes by like that.
Really, Tim? Are you about to take yourself out on that KLX at one point that you can't sell?
So anyway, Sarasota Tim is a famous YouTuber at age 67. I got here by doing the hard work, and I got here by you helping me.
The hard work? You regurgitated somebody else's video, and you just put out 10 slops a day. I don't know if that's just like hard work or just like flooding the zone. It's like you can't avoid your content, Tim.
Watching the videos and everything. I want to say thank you very much. And so to the next video, crush it.
And I don't even know if you put out a next video. I don't know. Let's see. If we got anything else from Tim, and then we're just gonna peek see real fast. See, look, it's after 10 o'clock at night. Now, some of Tim's content comes out late at night. The cockroach video. Oh God. So I didn't even look at this one. Look, I can't watch that. This is Fred and Raphael's. I'm going to be wrapping it up, guys, because I've got to get ready to head to work, my present job in the morning. So, and the dogs, obviously, started raining. Maybe that's why they were getting antsy. They've settled down finally. It only takes like, I started trying to exercise at 6 o'clock this evening. So it's only taken about 4 hours for them to settle back down again. Goodness me. So this was the one that everyone was saying about him obviously leaving this. Maybe I'll leave some of these for members only, or another time. Let's take a look at the poll and see where we got. Thank you. Wow, 180 votes. That's incredible. I really appreciate that. Especially with it being summertime, and I know how busy people are and getting out. Oh my goodness, we're getting more votes. If you have not had a chance to vote for the poll, now's your chance to do so while we finish up this live stream. I know people are interested in this. Church isn't what it used to be. This was just, I don't know what Tim was on about in that one. I know a lot of people had a lot to say on that one. All the court would have to do is look at videos of the last year, sees planes, trains, all those vacates, vehicles, bought and stuff. They don't need to look at anything. Court doesn't have to do any. That's the thing. Court does not need to do anything at this point. Everything that the court needs, they have. There's nothing additional. The WebEx was denied. They didn't even need to look at Tim's videos. Tim did not supply any evidence as to where he was on a fixed income, and because any of that evidence would have need to be shared with me. So any information that Tim would have had to give the courts about fixed income, I would also, Tim has all my evidence. Tim has a copy of all the receipts and all the stuff that feels personal to me for this case. He has a copy because that's what I have to submit. I had to submit a copy to courts. I had to submit a copy to him. Everything. So everything I had to be submitted. So it's a lot of personal information, obviously, including like my 1099 from YouTube, also my copy of my nursing license, you name it, all of it. All of it's had to be submitted. My goodness, guys, please don't. I can't think straight when you. All right, guys, I'm going to end this stream here. I cannot take the dogs in their play fighting. Sometimes I know other people love it, but it is hard to concentrate when they just are like going at it. Oh my God. Just go to sleep, the two of you. Jeez. Oh my God. 10 o'clock at night. All right, I got to go to bed because let's finish out this poll. Anyway. Oh, yeah, he's very famous. Yeah, he's as famous as I am on YouTube. Oh, is Carol coming? Hey, Carol. He'll catch up at home just in the summer concert part. Yeah, I'm sure. You can't play for any of theirs. Yeah, hit the likes. Yeah. Yeah, Tim, sorry, guys. The dogs are they get really loud, and I have to shut all the doors in here to stop all the racket, like from the microphone, like becoming an echo chamber, which can be horrific for sound quality. So I have to make like a corner here in my kitchen area. And then the dogs are just, they are really off tonight. And Junebug is supposed to be old. And she just never gets like old. She never acts old. Shorty is. Yeah, I know. It's exciting to think about all the things that the judge or all the extra things. But I promise you guys, it's not that. Everything has been submitted. There's no extra evidence. There's no judge going to watch his videos. Nothing of that nature. I'm sorry to disappoint. None of that's going to happen. Tim was supposed to, if he wanted to get his WebEx, he was supposed to do all these different things. If he felt the case should not have been in the courts, he had 30 days to do stuff. Tim didn't do anything really to protect himself. He did like his video content, the laziest stuff possible. Difference is unlike YouTube, which rewards his lazy content and the slop he puts out, he was not rewarded by the courts for being lazy. He's not been rewarded with a WebEx by not submitting any evidence that he's on a fixed income or not submitting evidence that he is under physical hardship to travel. I needed to see that evidence too. He would have had to send all of that to me. So either Tim chose to not want to share evidence with me in the courts because he thinks he's smarter than everybody else, or Tim is really that ignorant to the law that he does not understand that without submitting any type of evidence, just his word alone is not going to be substantial. They don't know him from Adam. Why would they take his word for it? They aren't. So that's why he was denied the WebEx. I didn't have to show the judge anything. Thank goodness. So, said he sense himself. They mirror others. Yeah, they do. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. Well, the 5'7" is what the process server thought his height was. So I've had a independent person go out to Tim's RV and eyeball him and say he's 5'7". So there you go. That's the best we're going to get, guys, unless somebody wants to find a copy of his driver's license. I know you guys want it more exciting. There's no discovery. There's none of that BS-ery. There's no more continuations. The judgment will be given on the 13th. Will Tim try to come up with something? I don't know. Do I care? Not really. Because it's all up to him. I don't care. That's why can't people understand? I don't care. It's all just, well, he can't. I know it's fun making up all the dumb stuff that Tim's going to do. I guess I'm just a very pragmatic person. And so, like, making up things that aren't legally applicable, I don't find that fun. It just doesn't make sense in my brain. It's like, oh, that's not even funny because that's not even the truth. So I know how it seems funny, but I guess because I am the plaintiff and I take this case very seriously, Tim's shenanigans are not funny because I've dealt with him for almost 2 years and his just blind ignoring of the law. And so he is at a place where he is trapped now. And watch him try to get out of things along with YouTube, anything JJ is trying to do. Tim will try to get out of any type of accountability or responsibility. We understand that. But this is going to actually take him real legitimately having a fucking heart attack to get out of. And I don't think Tim wants to have a fucking heart attack or stroke. I really fucking don't. Yeah, good night. So I understand. I know it's like makes for great YouTube drama, but this isn't a drama channel. This is an educational channel. And I'm not giving anybody legal advice, obviously. I don't give legal advice. I certainly don't do that. But I can let you know that he is, yeah, that's right. It's better to face the facts of what Tim is actually having to be subjected to. And what will happen? Well, if he says, oh my goodness, I had a heart attack, we're great. They reset the date and he still gets sued. I mean, he literally would have to die to get out of this case at this point. And I don't think anyone's really wishing Tim death, and not even me. So that's not really how far I want this to go. And so I know, and everyone's, because it gets, there's been so many people too who purport to having had a history in law and know nothing about it as well. So it's just, and so there's a lot of misinformation about my case. No, he can't get out of it with a personal bankruptcy. He's been denied a WebEx. He's supposed to be in Virginia for court. Is he going to try every playbook? Who knows? Who the heck knows? I'm not. I can only hope that I get the verdict I want. Why am I going to want to give about Tim? I'm just done. If you do want to support me, yeah, he has to send proof. Exactly. You can't just phone somebody and get out of stuff. I know it sounds great. I know it's funny to joke about it. But when you've worked as long as hard on a court case as I have, maybe sometimes it's not funny. I'm just saying. And I'm laughing, but sometimes it's not. It really isn't, and I know that people love being just toxic and negative, even in my own community. Okay. All right. Okay. So 185 votes. Do you wash your new clothes before you wear them? I don't even want Tim to be homeless if Ray wins. I just want him to have to go back to a prison job. I don't care what happens to Tim, to be honest. I don't think he's going to be homeless, thanks to me. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not somebody who's asking for some ridiculously large settlement. I mean, you hear some of these cases and some of the amounts of money that people are suing people for. I'm not anywhere near that realm. Nowhere near it. Which is another reason why this case would never be considered that exciting on YouTube. Because I'm not in the millions of dollars. Which is, it's the only thing that wakes anybody's mind up in the United States. So I'm not sort of, fooling myself that it's all that exciting. He's one strong win away from being homeless. He's going to be more screwed by the Florida weather than probably by me. Yeah, he can't lie his way out of this one already, though. That's what I'm trying to explain to people. He can't. You can't lie your way without evidence. It's a court case. He's not going to the court of YouTube. That's a whole different world. It's not like he can stand there like with the situation with Johnny Vegas's golf clubs, even with videos of Johnny Vegas saying he wants his golf clubs back and start spewing out bullshit to people. I know we just witnessed all of that and then having a bunch of idiots like that dude Russell come behind and say Tim's innocent. Who gives a crap what that dude has to say? Who is he? Is he Judge Joe Mathis? Is he one of these people coming out and doing this?
I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have best drive Megan. Well, you know what that is.
Just because some white dude comes out and says some shit and says, oh, I think this guy fucking innocent. What the fuck is that? Sorry, I don't mean to cuss, but it just gets to the point where it's almost ridiculous. Just really ridiculous. I don't care about Fred and Raffaella, to be honest. I really don't care. Fred's an old fascist. I don't care what happens to him. I really don't. I'm sorry. If they invited Tim, they've known Tim for a decade. I don't care. They've got grown children. They're grown adults. I don't care at this point. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's their choice. They've known Tim for an extremely long period of time. That's their decision. It's their decision if their children step in. I don't think any of us should concern ourselves or even care about it. That's just mine. Thought. I understand, love the flowers, that you're concerned. And I know that people have tried to warn their children. You can't but involve yourself so much in these people's lives because that becomes interfering. And to be honest, I really don't. Fred helped him supposedly with his paperwork. So I don't care what I don't care. How about them apples? So I just know that I've worked really hard on my case, and the guy's Russell's is just one person. Yeah, his opinion really doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's like we can't worry about Fred and Raffaella either. You know, as much as we've tried to call Tim out for years now to protect and Fred and Raffaella are never going to change. Okay, so I think they probably have whatever they probably have their wills and their trusts and whatever solid. Tim cannot just. It's not as easy. That's internet drama. Life is a lot more organized than that for most people. What would you, as a professional health coach, say he is sitting on dynamite, not paying attention to his health? Absolutely. Absolutely. And the way he sits out and fries his skin and doesn't eat correctly, absolutely. I worked in a heart hospital. I worked in a cardiac rehab for years. I worked in hospice. I've seen the end results of all of these diseases. So yeah, Tim is playing with his health. Absolutely. All day long. I said it a million times. Yeah, and the guy Russell, he doesn't matter, you know. And I guess I get, you know, I know it's fun to laugh about my court case and all the dumb stuff Tim's going to do. I get it. But I do always want to return people back to the reality that it's, you know, because we've seen, like I said, with people defending Tim in the court of public opinion on YouTube. And that is a very different world from an actual legal case where you need to walk into a courtroom with actual evidence backing up everything you say. You can't, you know, it's different even when you call a witness in. And they better have some credibility behind them. And even now, people sometimes, you know, witnesses' credibility be questioned. So this isn't going to have a bunch of witnesses and all that stuff. It's not a case that's trying to be that complex or that expensive for me. I have a very simple case to present. Tim has no evidence. Tim has already lost the case. If Tim has a medical emergency, oh, well, the date goes to a different day. So, I mean, like, where am I hurting? I mean, the only way that Tim gets out of this is to meet his maker. So it isn't funny that Tim always goes where the money is. So I know we kind of get, yeah, Fred and Raffaella have their paperwork in place. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about Fred and Raffaella. They're fine. They want to cook Tim dinner and listen to his nonsense because he's the, you know, they give him company. Let him have it. You know, I don't care. I think it's terrible that he thinks Raffaella's job is to service him constantly when she's an older lady. Feed him all the time. Yeah. All right, guys. I know it's fun, like I said, but obviously the only thing I want to think about is getting Tim into a courtroom. And I know everyone else just wants to think about, oh, how Kim's not going to show up to court. Well, we know Tim is not trying to show up to court. I've always said that. I've always said Tim's not going to show his ass up in court. I'll put money on it. I would actually go put a Vegas bet on it if I could. That's how much I know, because he's going to lose. And Tim is not going to want to face that in a courtroom. But he's still going to lose. If he doesn't show up, he still loses. That's it. I don't understand why it's so hard. There's no evidence. All right. Oh my gosh. I guess I feel frustrated trying to explain it. Okay. All right. Do you wash new clothes before you wear them? All right. We're going to end the poll. 88 votes. Thank you, guys. Okay. So 80. Yes, it's gross not to wash them. 53%. It's a mix, but wash most things. 36%. And 11% said no. I prefer to wear before washed. Okay. That's interesting. I wonder who that was. So yeah. We don't think he's Fred. Yeah. Tim not showing up. I've never said that Tim was going to show up to court. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The matters is getting the default judgment to move to garnishment. And but hey, you can't garnish him. Yeah, I can. He'll get into all sorts of trouble if he starts moving stuff around suddenly. Promise you. He's in some very serious business torts. I don't understand how I can't make this make sense. All right, guys. His life is empty. Imagine, yeah. No, he's not going to prepare a case. He doesn't have the mental capacity. Do you think? Have you seen the level the most that Tim did was those statistics today? That probably took him a while. He was worn out. Couldn't even produce another freaking video after that. He was so tired putting that much effort into a video. The minute he had to actually do real research for his Social Security videos and deal with people questioning his numbers and his statistics and every other freaking adult pushing back on him, because I get pushed back too, because that's the way adults do it. They're not just going to be like nodding their. Nobody's going to nod. That people are going to tell me how Tim's going to have a medical emergency and stroke out, not show up to court every day. Every day. That's what I get told. Every day. That's how positive everybody is for me. Just wonderful. I just love how positive everybody is. Everybody is just so positive for people. Everyone just loves to, tell you how you're going to get screwed all the time. Even if you're using the law. Welcome to America. You're going to start a lawsuit, but that old buzzard, he gonna screw you out of it. It's just, you can start 1,000 lawsuits. And you know what? In Virginia, you just can't. You get in trouble. So stop it's just, I don't know. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Win for Bubba. He's not winning anything. Tim has already lost. Okay, that's what I can't get. It's just, we have to wait all these days until court, people. Tim is too much of a narcissist to want to be sick, too. Have you ever figured that one out? He spends money. Well, yeah, whatever. Okay, we got all stupid around here, and I'm getting tired, and the dogs are irritating me. All right, guys. Let's catch you on the next one. Bye.
Life and Vibe, thanks so much. My queen, my Sarasota Tim expert.